In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you a brief introduction to shapes. So let's go ahead and create a new layer. By doing that, all you need to do is click on this little post-it note here, and it will create your new layer for you. Alright, so in this layer here, I'm going to be having a shape tool. And here it is here. So what you can do is either click onto your rectangle, that's the shape you want, or you can right click and other shapes will appear. So you can, oopsie, so you have your round tool, your ellipse tool, lines, etc, etc. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go with the ellipse tool. Now if you remember in the colors class that we did, when we do our circle, it's actually going to appear with this color here. Okay, now if you're wanting to obviously change that color, you can go over here and we are going to change that color to, say, you can either pick one from your picker tool here, or you can go into your color wheel or your color picker and change it here. Okay, and hit OK. So now you'll notice that this box here will appear pink. Okay, now if you didn't want to say for instance you didn't want to have a fill color, all you would need to do is click this red like strike. Okay, now in your stroke section, this is what the outline of your design is going to be. You can either leave it as nothing, which is what it's appearing as, or you can change to another color. Now let's just say for instance we want our outline to be in black. Okay, and I want my stroke, which is your outline, to be quite thick. Alright, let's just say let's make it 15, and I'm actually wanting to change the stroke design to be dots. Alright, so now when we go hover over onto our canvas, I'm going to hit the shift key, because the shift key is what helps keep it in proportion, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag, and watch what happens when I release. It's now going to form my circle as that purple tool, as that purple color with a black stroke with dotted lines, and it's going to be about 15 pixels thick. Okay, so say for instance now we don't particularly like the way this looks. Okay, so let's just hit the select tool, the move tool, and that now like removes the bounding box around it, you could say. Okay, but now I don't really like that, so let's just change it. So all you need to do is make sure you're obviously selecting that layer, go back over to your shape tool, and I now want to change this color. I don't like it, so I'm going to change this color to, say, a red color. Okay, and I might change the stroke to nothing, and then obviously these ones here won't appear, you won't need those. Okay, or let's say for instance we want to change the border around it to be yellow, and I'm wanting to make this fairly thin. Okay, and I want to keep it as a solid border. Okay, and then all you need to do is, because you've already created it, all you need to do is hit the move tool, and you can't notice it, but if you go in, you will see that that is now a yellow. But let's just increase this, and you'll see that that yellow is there. It's just can't see it because of the size it was at. Alright, so let's just go back out by hitting Control and the minus sign, and it will zoom back out. Okay, and there is your shape. Now this can obviously be any shape you want. If you right click, you can create whichever shape you want to. Okay, let's just hit the select tool, and it is obviously on that layer, and it's going to change that shape if we keep it on that layer. So let's go ahead and create a new layer, and go back over here to our shape tool. All right, and I just click the line tool. So if you right click, you'll notice that your line tool is just over here. So let's click onto that. Okay, and now I am wanting a line. All right, just a plain line. So all I would do is you can either click and drag, or you can hit the shift key and it will actually keep the line straight for you. Okay, so I'm going to hit the shift key. Actually, I'm going to not hit the shift key, and you see how you can pretty much put it wherever you want to. But watch what happens now if I hit the shift key. It keeps it on a straight line, and then you can hit release. All right, and then let's hit the select tool. Okay, and there is our line. You notice how it's got the little dots there? Okay, and that is because, let's click back onto our shape tool, our shape layer, and click onto the line tool, and you'll notice on the right, on the top here, it's still got the black, and it's saying that it's 15 like in thickness, and it's got the dots. But let's change that to just a solid line, and I'm wanting to make this line fairly thick, and I'm wanting to change the color to this green. Okay, and hit the select tool, and you see how it's now changed it to a solid green line. And let's go Control T and let's move in. And there is your solid line. Okay, now another great tool to know is that if you click onto, we want to rotate this shape. Okay, you can either hit Control T, making sure obviously that you've selected the layer you want, and you can now drag it and move it, and you can notice how there's this little black box that appears. That pretty much tells you the direction your line is going in. But we want it 90 degrees, but instead of sitting here trying to get it to exactly 90 degrees, all you need to do is, once you've obviously clicked onto your shape and you hit Control T, you can either do it that way, or you can go over here and highlight that and change that to 90 and hit enter, and it will automatically do the change for you. Okay, so that is the basics of using shapes. There is so much more that I can go into with shapes and what other features that they have, but those were the basic ones, is learning how to know how to change the color, how to change the border, how to change the sizing. So actually we didn't go through the sizing. So for instance, let's go onto our ellipse tool and let's drag that one to the top layer so that it actually appears over the line. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is hit Control T, and we're then going to hit the shift key, and we're just pretty much going to enlarge it and hit enter. Okay, and the reason why it turned into like an ovally shape is because I released the shift key first before I released the mouse. So always make sure you hit release the mouse before you release the shift key. That way it stays in proportion. Okay, but that's just a basic understanding on using shapes.